Yo, this is for you. I am my number one fan. For you, this is for you. I am my number one fan. For you, yo, this is for you. I am my number one fan. For you, I am my number one fan. I'm trying to get you from here to there. I'm trying to show niggas it ain't fair. How I just came up, but you not there. Stuck in the same situation you been in. What? They got the plug, you got the sound. You not just a groupie that's hanging around. Sure. They got the stage, but you bring the lights. It's enough room at the top, we ain't gotta fight. I am my number one fan. I am that legend.
What's going on, y'all?
What's happening, people?
It's Reese
and Arnold,
and you're listening to
the Neighbors Podcast.
And you can listen to us on
Spotify,
iHeartRadio,
Google Play,
iTunes,
Sonos,
Deezer.
Yes,
Deezer.
Well, that must be new for me. I didn't know that. Hey.
Podcast Addict.
Oh, hey.
Castbox.
Thank you.
And
Alexa.
And Sonos.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, y'all don't know. We are everywhere.
All over.
And as you see, even our co-hosts don't even know everywhere we are.
Well, it's not because I don't know. It's because I don't know. We're so much, and everything is just so happening. Great for us.
I'm about to say, I think that's the key. I think y'all don't understand that some things happen so fast.
Exactly.
And it's hard to keep up with what, where we really are and what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Just family life and everything else. It's one of them things where you got to charge it to the head, not to the heart.
Exactly. I agree with you 100% on that. I definitely agree with you on that.
And I hope that for most of you out there, I know for myself, this year has gone by so fast.
Yes, it has.
And it is. Do y'all believe it's Thanksgiving already?
Well, actually, my stomach told me.
Your stomach?
Really? Yeah, because I didn't see the calendar. So my stomach was like, we had a conversation yesterday.
Okay.
So he was like, yo, Thanksgiving is coming up, man. So, prior to Thanksgiving, I have to go through my regiment.
Okay.
So I kind of like fast a little bit, so on Thanksgiving that I can eat more.
Okay.
I bought me some special sweatpants. I got a larger shirt now,
That is hilarious.
So when I get to go eat, I can just be comfortable when I eat, You don't need to be wearing no jeans with no belt.
Right.
That. You need sweatpants. You have to have sweatpants.
Right. So I hope that y'all will enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And the rest of this holiday season.
Yes.
I want y'all to be safe out there.
Yeah, and be careful, y'all.
It's a whole lot of dumb stuff going on right now.
It is.
I mean, look, let me tell y'all, my daughter, as most of y'all know, is in college right now.
Mm-hmm. She
just told me how there's an alert going out around her campus about sexual predators on her campus.
Right.
And how a van pulled up outside her dorm the other day. Trying to pick up these two young ladies outside. So let me tell you, it's real out there.
Also, for those of y'all who follow me on Instagram, my personal account, I had put a thing out where this girl had put a PSA about Lyft drivers and different Uber drivers that which makes no sense to me. Why would they do this? But she's not the only person that had discussed this, where you have to be careful about getting inside the Uber drivers in the Lyft cars because they're putting the child locks on the back.
Right.
And then they're taking the young ladies to wherever they want to take them, abandoned warehouses or whatever. And then as they release, they pull up. It might be a van waiting for them or a pickup truck or whatever. Right. And they take these women, they kidnap them, and they put them into the sex trade.
Right.
So, basically women, you really have to be careful out there.
I think there was a young lady that had posted it on Instagram how she herself was in the car, and she was like, yo, I'm trying to go to work. Where are you taking me?
And not only that, and I'm not trying to scare nobody. We're just trying to educate you so you can be prepared about your surroundings. There also was a young lady, it was on Instagram, and I believe, and I'm going to give a shout out to D.L. Hooley for putting this up, but it was, she was kidnapped, held at gunpoint, driven to her bank. The guy used her MAC cards or her bank cards, and then he stopped at a gas station to go in to get some food or whatnot. And as he was pulling off, the trunk pops out and she rolls out the trunk and runs into the gas station, and they have the surveillance and everything, and they show the girl. She comes in, the guy asks, "What's going on?" And she said, "I just been robbed and I've been kidnapped. This guy had me in the back of my own trunk." And they called the police and waited for it. So that's just to show you, ladies, you really have to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be aware of your surroundings at all times.
Right.
Because you don't know what a person is thinking, what's on a person's mind. You have to you have to pay attention. You have to be careful about your drinks.
Right.
You got to be careful about what somebody offers you. And it's not impolite to tell somebody no. You don't always have to take something because somebody's offering it to you.
Now, when that happens, though,
mm-hmm.
don't get so emotional if someone calls you out your name.
Right.
Because sometimes us guys, you get turned down. We don't like that. Most people don't like to be turned down at all. And if we offer you some guy or someone offers you something and you deny it, don't be upset if they call you a stupid whatever or stuck up, blah, 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 whatever. You get what I mean?
Right.
Don't take it to heart. 'Cause I think that's the other thing, too. Sometimes people will call you out your name, and then we take it, we take it to heart, and now all of a sudden we're in a whole nother place, where it didn't even have to be.
Plus, if you get that type of reaction from a brother, that brother wasn't meant to be with you anyway. Because if just from you saying no thank you, and he snaps like that, what kind of man you think he is?
Right.
So that's good for you. You dodged the bullet. I hate to use the terminology of dodging a bullet, that phrase, but you dodged the bullet because if he reacted that way just from you saying no thank you, and he calls you out your name or calls you whatever, then it was no use you being with that guy anyway.
Yeah.
So just as a PSA, ladies, be careful. Watch what you do. When you go places, make sure you go in groups. Always, a lot of times I see women, they're always on their phone,
mm-hmm.
and they're not aware of their surroundings. So the phone could be a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, you're right about
So
that.
the phone is good. If you're talking to somebody and something happens, they can hear what's going on. Or if you have a tracking device on your phone, such as Life 360 or any of those other things that you might find out at the at your app store from whatever phone or whatever app store that you have that's on your phone, where your phone could be tracked in case something does happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, if you're not paying attention while you're on the phone, somebody can walk up on you, say something to you because you're on the phone, you're engaged in your conversation, that you're not paying attention to what's going on. So just be careful, ladies. Be careful.
And try your best as much as you can to make sure that you're not totally by yourself.
Right.
I know some situations you can't help that.
Right.
But try your best.
Right.
And just make sure that you're going to places that
mm-hmm.
overall. Then that way you understand, just like the lady who was going to work and she was her driver had taken a whole nother route.
Right.
So you understand, hey, this is where I'm going. This can be an alternative route, but it really isn't. So understand kind of where you're going and how to get to and fro. Then that way this is not the way I'm supposed to be headed.
Exactly.
Now, granted, it's hard to say when you're going to another city, and because everybody's living their best life and going on vacations and stuff, it seems like, and, you get off the plane, you get an Uber, and then you're trying to go get to your hotel and stuff, and so this is where, should we really start calling cabs again, or is that Uber thing going to get totally out of whack?
Right.
And I can understand why cabs are more important today than the Uber. I mean, I'm not knocking nobody's hustle. Don't get me wrong. It's a great way to make a couple extra dollars in cash or whatever else. But I think that in some cases, it seems as though the cabs, they had a little more of a, you can understand their gripe.
Right.
You can understand their gripe.
Well, they feel that Uber and Lyft is taking money out of their pockets.
Right.
So, before there was the Uber and Lyft, they were just cab drivers.
Yeah, right.
Or in some cities you may go, they have gypsies. They call them gypsies, but they would be people with their own personal cars.
Right.
Using as cabs and stuff like that. Or in Philly, we call them hacks.
Yeah.
It's the hack man, But, Uber and Lyft has totally did away with all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you would think, because you have to give all your information, why would you do something like that?
You know,
You got to really think about, I mean, why would you come up with some type of plan like that? And I understand about the sex trade, and I understand about how the money can be lucrative, but like you really, think smartly.
Well, see, I think in that when you hear about the sex trade thing,
Mm-hmm.
it's very rare that you hear about someone that's actually born in America.
Well, that's the problem. It happens in America a lot.
No, I'm not saying.
But it's not as publicized as it is about when you're from overseas.
No. That's not. No, I'm sorry, and let me clarify.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen here.
Right.
What I mean by that is that the persons that are involved in it here are. You don't hear too many of persons who were actually born here. You might hear of someone who might have come over on a visa or something.
Oh,
something
yeah.
low. You get what
somebody.
I mean?
Yeah,
You
I
know,
understand that.
so they're coming over here trying to make a couple extra dollars. So in that, how many people's names are Billy Graham, but that's not their real name?
Right, I understand that. And it works.
You get what I mean?
It works two ways, because you have people that that fight to come to this country.
Right.
And then you have other people that take advantage of the fact that they want to come to this country so badly that they put them in debt. And then when they get here, they may take their passports and they force them to either work at massage parlors and do prostitution and stuff like that.
Right. So, so that's what I meant. I just want to make sure I'm clear that it's not, I'm not saying it's just across seas and we're not affected at all. No, we're definitely affected.
Mm-hmm.
That's no doubt, but I think not too long ago, I think it was in Northeast Philly that people were busted.
Yeah.
For this.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying,
yes.
Most times you hear of those that are connected with that are not necessarily United States born people,
because it's usually a big organization,
right?
So this ain't a fly by night thing. Somebody just, I'm gonna do this real quick. No, because all this stuff takes time and planning,
right?
Because you're moving. I hate to use the term cargo, but you're moving people as cargo to get them from one place to another.
Yeah,
So it's really bad. We just, at the Neighbors Podcast, we're all about community. We're all about structuring. We're all about strengthening ourselves.
Right.
And that means keeping everybody aware and abreast of things that are going on. So, that in a sense is about community right there, because we want all women to, we want no women to be hurt, no children to be hurt.
Right.
And we want everybody to be protected.
Right.
So we have to put certain information out there like that. So like I said, we're not trying to scare anybody.
Not
we're
at
just
all.
trying to inform you. Just be a little more aware of your surroundings.
Right. Right. So one other thing that I would like to do, and I'm sorry that we had to start off the show this way, but I wanted to get into, or I want y'all to know how thankful I am and appreciative I am of all of you that are our listeners.
Yes. Me also.
And how y'all have really transformed our lives with this podcast.
Yes. Yeah, you definitely took us to another level. We're doing things. We're not just doing the podcast.
Right.
We're doing other things outside of that's in accordance with our motto and our mantra for the podcast.
Right.
So, like we're two young brothers. Well, we're not that young, but we're two seasoned brothers that believe in community and family,
right?
And at any cost, meaning that nobody needs to get hurt, nobody needs to be damaged. But sometimes you have to settle gripes and beefs a certain way, and I like to just say in an adult way. It's no time to be playing around. Because we're dealing with lives here. We're dealing with things where people are trying to raise families. People are trying to make their lives better.
Right.
So like Reese said, by us doing this, our initial reason we started this podcast has helped us to enhance the reason why we started this podcast.
Very much,
and
so.
That's because of you, the listeners.
Right.
We love everybody in our community.
And we just want to make sure that for topics like this, that we make sure that we tell y'all how much we appreciate y'all, because a show like this, y'all will share it.
Right.
Most definitely. And it will motivate you to go out and do something.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
along not just with us, you know, but even you will go out and try to make a difference,
Exactly.
and then refer our show, and then our show will touch how many more people, you know, and we appreciate y'all for doing that tremendously.
Yes.
And one last thing, I want y'all to understand that this will be one of the last shows of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I think this would be one of the last.
one of the last. And because
and that doesn't mean that we don't, not to cut you off, my brother, but that doesn't mean that we don't want you to stop listening, because it might be some episodes that you miss. Please go back and check them out.
Right.
But it's like we said, our journey with you has made us grow a little better, and more. So we do need to take time off to reevaluate and regroup, and so that we can make our next season better, and bigger for you guys. You know, but periodically you'll hear from us.
Oh no, well, we're not going away.
We're not going nowhere.
We have some special things happening.
Yeah,
you know, and we always appreciate all the suggestions.
Yes.
All the likes.
Yes.
All the shares.
Mm-hmm.
All the shout outs.
Everything.
You know, we have a number one fan that we didn't think was going to be our number one fan, to be honest.
We love you, Dawn.
And truth be told, we've been able to touch and interview and speak with and break bread with a number of different people that we never even thought we were going to.
Exactly.
To be honest.
Exactly.
This first year of ours has been a true learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, as someone had told me not too long ago, they've noticed that our production value has gone up tremendously since our first show to now.
Exactly.
You know, but it's all because of you, you know.
Right. You, the listener.
You know, if it wasn't for you giving us suggestions and just say, hey, you know, maybe y'all could do this a little bit better, talk about these topics, interview these people, that type of thing.
And the way you guys embraced us as neighbors.
Right.
NayborsPodcast.
And I can't even tell you how many people are just walking down the street saying that.
Right. You know?
Literally. You know, yelling up the street, NayborsPodcast, you know, so we have that. And hopefully it will continually be contagious as it started off to be.
Right.
Because we have a lot of nonsense going on. And we want to make sure that everyone feels loved and liked, not just from a like on social media.
No.
You know, kind of almost get back to how when we were growing up back in the Stone Ages.
Yeah, right.
You know, where, you know, we would go outside and sweep the steps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, help our neighbor with the bags or things like that. You know, we just want
walks.
Right.
You know, pick up trash in the neighborhood if you need to.
You know, so we just want y'all to kind of, we want to encourage y'all to get back to that. How do we become better neighbors? And we're definitely going to get into that in our next season.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yes.
There's been so much going on in the neighborhood, or things that's been going on in Capitol Hill that affects the neighborhood.
Exactly. You know?
You know, so that has kind of thrown some things off track, like some things we really didn't expect to talk about. You know, because like even today, we didn't think we was going to talk about this whole sex trafficking thing.
No, it just came up.
We was going to talk about rifles and muskets and turkeys, and you know, because even with that, you know, what is the since we're on it, do you have the meaning of the origin of Thanksgiving?
I just happen to look at well, you know, a lot of people have their own interpretation of what Thanksgiving was.
Right.
So Thanksgiving, let's look up the. I was looking at the meaning of the turkey. The turkey had just got me caught off with the first meal and all that stuff. So with the Spanish, it said that that the English settlers weren't the first ones to celebrate the Thanksgiving feast, right? Mm-hmm. So according to this, Spanish explorers would have a feast and they would use a turkey or a pheasant.
Okay.
The very first Thanksgiving it's dated in 1541, And this is according to the Texas Society of Daughters of American Colonists. And this guy, Padre Fray Juan D., I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Pidala, called the first feast of prayer and Thanksgiving, beating out the Plymouth Thanksgiving by 79 years. So in the history books
So what year was that?
That was in 1541. So that was 79 years prior to the Plymouth first Thanksgiving.
Which was, I think, was 1621.
16 something, right.
1621, 20, something like that, yeah.
So that, I mean, that's very interesting. That's very interesting to see. And then you think about what would be the true meaning of Thanksgiving, right? So the first Plymouth feast was in 1621.
Right.
Right. It says, according to the American tradition, this is when Thanksgiving really began. So they didn't want to get the Spanish the credit for that. So this is when they say that Thanksgiving really started, right? And they would celebrate their first good crop of corn, barley, the growth of generous assistance from the native Wampa Indians.
You're right, yeah.
Yep, I'm going to make sure I pronounce their names right. I don't want none of my Native American brothers and sisters to be upset. But throughout history, you can see different things that happen with this Thanksgiving thing. So we adopted the Thanksgiving feast and the tradition of giving thanks, and we accepted that. We didn't know a lot of things that were going on before that. So here is something else that they have, that on December 18, 1777, 13 colonies celebrated Thanksgiving, right? They celebrated the victory of the American Continental Forces over the British in the Battle of Saratoga. Who was commander-in-chief at the time was George Washington, called Thursday, December 18th, to set aside the solemn Thanksgiving and praise.
Okay.
It was the first time that all 13 colonies celebrated this day of Thanksgiving in unison. So they have a lot of different times throughout history where Thanksgiving wasn't always in November.
Right.
And
I knew that.
Thanksgiving wasn't always celebrated as it was used as a celebration for something that happened. Or in this case, this is the United States, before it was the United States, conquered Britain.
Right.
Or they won the war with Britain as far as for their independence. So I had seen something else on the turkey, which I was trying to find. Because the turkey caught me off guard. Because, you know, the turkey, and I don't know why turkeys make you sleepy, but I think it has something to do with the tryptophan that they put in the turkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, so for me, I'm a turkey person, but I'm not a turkey person at the same time.
Right.
So if you want to call me bougie again.
No, I won't call you bougie on that. So I understand that, because turkey, I think turkey's overrated. I'd rather have me a good duck or a chicken. But turkey.
Duck?
Yeah, duck's good.
Oh, who's bougie? You have duck at yours?
No. Well,
you have quail.
No, quail's when you bougie. Even though quail and duck are similar, quail is for rich people. So, you know, and our duck don't really be duck; it be pigeon.
What?
So,
I mean, where do you get it from?
Well, you can get duck from any of your little butchers and all that stuff like that.
You talk about me being bougie.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know,
me being. He knows exactly where you can go get the duck and the swan and the peacock. Like,
I haven't ate a peacock, so I don't want nobody out there thinking that I'm eating a peacock. But if you have ate one, please let me know how it tastes, because they're very colorful. So I'm sure they probably taste it.
You know, but for someone, I'm just strictly with the turkey, the chicken. I know some people are gonna be like, but pork chops. You know, the pork,
yeah, right.
You know, but I'm not all about, you know, and the cow.
Right.
I guess beef. Oh well, I guess I do eat crabs, shrimp, fish. I'm not a mussels person though. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm saying all that to say that I don't know what y'all menu is gonna be, but I know mine. every Thanksgiving or every other one. It depends on how I feel, whether it's going to be Thanksgiving or Christmas. I make a seafood casserole.
Oh yeah, seafood casseroles are good.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
good. That or some shrimp fried rice.
So
homemade. So usually Thanksgiving meals, dinners in certain cultures, they usually have the turkey. You have your cranberry sauce. You have your stuffing. You have your macaroni and cheese. You have your sweet potato pie. Very rarely do we eat pumpkin pie. It's there if you want it. But it's sweet potato pie, apple pie. There's greens. Depending on what you like, there's pig feet there sometimes. There's chitlin there sometimes. And for those who don't know what chitlins is, don't worry about it. You're. It's not that you're not missing anything, but if you don't know what it is, you don't need to know.
Gosh.
So you have all type. You have your ham, and sometimes you might have some fried chicken there, depending on who the host is and who's cooking the meal. So I've been to a lot of just family functions when it comes to Thanksgiving, but overall Thanksgiving consists of turkey, cranberry sauce, stuffing, rolls. You can get by with that type of meal, some gravy.
So
but you got to do it up. You know how we do.
So me growing up, we might have some turnips.
Yeah. I forgot about the turnips.
Some string beans,
Mustard greens.
How about? I'm trying to think. What else will we have? Some turnips. I'm trying to think. What's the other? There's another orange-looking thing, vegetable.
Squash?
No, not squash.
Oh yeah, squash is yellow.
Not squash. I mean, sometimes we have zucchini.
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah.
I mean, the
bougie.
No, but there's another. Oh, turnip.
Oh, turnips.
Yeah. That's some.
Yeah, turnips are good.
Whatever it was that I just know I didn't like it.
Right.
But I want y'all to tell us what y'all gonna have for y'all menu, and what is it y'all eat or don't eat? Because I know for me, I'm not those pig feet thing. Not for me. I'll eat bacon. I'll eat pork chops. I might even eat a pork shoulder, but pig feet, pig ears, pig tongue, not for me.
Yeah, I won't do the tongue. I'll do a shoulder. I haven't had chitlins in a long time because everybody can't cook chitlins. So I haven't done that in a while, and I haven't done no feet in a while. But, the shoulder, the pork chops, the bacon, of course. Not at Thanksgiving. Well, you can't have it on it because you can put it on your ham. Well,
I'm about to say, people kind of use the bacon to kind of wrap stuff up.
Or they use the bacon grease to cook their greens in. I think, personally, you should use turkey butts.
I think everybody uses something a little different.
Right.
Yeah, it's between ham hocks and some people put just bacon into their greens or their string beans. Trying to think, what was the not too long ago, it was the most outrageous thing. I guess I must have blacked it out because it was just so odd. But people have such weird traditions about food and Thanksgiving and things like that. I mean, on Instagram, and I love this boy, Kev on Stage. He's always talking about somebody who's messing up some kind of macaroni and cheese.
It's
like
everybody can't make macaroni.
I mean, who puts beans in it or blueberries
and macaroni and cheese?
Dude, it's all man. They just be messing it up, man. You gotta have just. I understand that there's a debate on the cheese that you use. Because everybody, that's a personal preference.
I think, cheese is personal preference.
But as far as some of this other stuff, like it's just macaroni and cheese.
Right.
Now, some people put some type of bread topping on top of it to make it a little bit more crusty.
It's the crumb.
But I mean, I could give leave or take that. I don't have to have that. Just as long as it's cheesy. That's my whole thing.
So I found another interesting fact about Thanksgiving. Right.
Uh-huh.
So Thanksgiving Day did not become an official holiday until Northerners dominated the federal government. While select intentions prevailed in the mid-19th century, the editor of a popular magazine called Grady Lady's Book her name was Sarah Josepha Hale, campaigned for a national Thanksgiving Day to be promoted in unity. She finally won the support of President Abraham Lincoln on October 3rd, 1863. During the Civil War, Lincoln proclaimed a national day of Thanksgiving to be celebrated on Thursday, November 26th. So the holiday was annually proclaimed by every president thereafter, and the date chosen, with a few exceptions, was the last Thursday in November. So when Franklin Roosevelt became president, he attempted to extend Christmas shopping season, which generally begins around Thanksgiving, and to boost the economy by moving the date back a week to the third week in November. But not all states were compliant, and after a joint resolution of Congress in 1941, Roosevelt issued a proclamation in 1942 designating the fourth Thursday in November, which is not always the last Thursday, as Thanksgiving Day.
Right, it's not.
So that's just a little note about that, as far as how it became a holiday and what these presidents did with this Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving was really big in Massachusetts at that time, because that's where the first Thanksgiving was in Plymouth.
Right.
So it was really big there. So they carried that on. And like we said earlier, a lot of times they would give thanks to what event was being taking place or what they had conquered. So that's how Thanksgiving came about. So we also know about some of the tragedies with the Native American and the Pilgrims, the Native Americans, and with the Spaniards that came, and different people that came, and how they were subject to a lot of, I want to say ridicule, but not ridicule, but a lot of punishment and torture too. Mm-hmm. So that's why you have a lot of people, particularly Native Americans and people that don't know, would side with getting away with Thanksgiving. And then you have people that take Thanksgiving as for what it is, just something to give thanks for, just to give thanks for your family, just to give thanks for the year, or whatever. It may have been the harvest, it may have been your crops, or it may have been something that had a new job. Who knows? Even though you can do that every day, but this was a day that was celebrated and this was passed down. So we like we said, we would like to have your thoughts on Thanksgiving.
Right.
What do you think Thanksgiving? What does it mean to you? What do you really think it means? And I know everybody's going to continue to celebrate Thanksgiving in some form because everybody likes to eat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
So nobody's turning down a food plate unless you're like on a big diet. Even when you're on a diet, you're like, it's Thanksgiving.
Right.
You gotta eat.
Right.
So. You know how we are at the Neighbors Podcast. We particularly don't always take sides. So we just present you with the facts and let you know that just because Thanksgiving seems all glory and glammy right now, but it also means a dark side for other people too.
But then I also notice just how Thanksgiving, even the vibe that we were getting when we were younger, just how it's been diminishing over the years,
right?
Because stores were closed back in the day, like they weren't even open.
Exactly,
not like the way they are now.
Exactly.
You had to hurry up and run to the market and be there before like 8:00 in the morning just to get that cranberry sauce real quick that you forgot. And if you were without something, you were just without. But now it's not like that. Yeah. And on top of that, people are leaving dinner early. Like I saw one store is opening up at 3:00 on Thursday.
Exactly. So that means you got to eat dinner at lunchtime.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you want to go make the Black Friday sale,
so,
and that's a topic all in its own.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's just really, really interesting how even the necessity for family to come together, to, like you said, to give thanks. It's just another little day, real quick, and to lead into, hey, everybody, let's just go spend a whole bunch of money.
Right. And it's so much that they do. You have the Thanksgiving Day parades in most major cities. you had the big ones, Philadelphia, New York, and I think it's one in California they televise, right? Yeah. Then you have Thanksgiving Day football. You know, all these things have become commercialized on this day. So they all become synonymous with Thanksgiving. Yeah. They all go together with Thanksgiving, along with Black Friday shopping. Yeah. All that goes along with Thanksgiving now. Right. So, like I say, we say that's why we like to know, what do you think Thanksgiving is? Is Thanksgiving just the starting point for you to go Black Friday shopping? You know, or is it the starting point for you to watch your favorite team play that? Because it's usually the same 4 teams, you know, that's going to play and that play that day. Or
is it the starting point for you to get off your diet?
Right. Yeah.
You know, like, look, so, you know, I'm not going to be on my diet for the next month. I know that. So this is my cheat month. I know I'll be back on the horse in January. You know, so I want to know.
I will work that out during the resolution.
Yeah, right, pretty much.
My New Year's resolution, I will work that out. I will
work that out on December 27th or 28th once all the leftovers are gone. You know, depending on who you are, you might pick out a little bit more on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day-ish. Depending on who you are, with the fried chicken, greens, black eyed peas, rice, that tradition. But it all depends.
Right.
But, you know, I know that I truly, truly appreciate all of you.
Yes, we do.
And I thank God for each and every one of you, your comments, your support. Truly, truly, truly. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's been a fun year. And we're coming to a close to part of our season.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to give y'all a heads up that the new season will start bright early first Monday in February.
Mm-hmm.
So I want y'all to be careful out there. Enjoy yourselves. Love your family. Love yourselves. And continue to love us.
And just before we go, I just want to give a quick, I'd like to thank my co-host Reese for allowing me to be part of this and coming up with this concept and allowing an old dog like me,
old dog,
to get up off the steps every now and then and get a chance to bark. You know, I also like to thank my family and those around me that have put up with us as far as us putting this together and taking the time out of their lives and putting all this together so we can make this better for you guys.
Right.
You know? So, you know, just look forward to the next season. Next season is going to be great. And I'm glad you guys that took this ride with us.
Right.
You know, and like I say, we would not be doing this if it wasn't for you. We just took a chance and we were received very well. So we're just going to make it better year after year after year.
Yeah. So we appreciate y'all.
Yes.
We love y'all.
Yes.
And until next time, gobble, 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 gobble. Peace.
Peace.
You are the agent and we look for change. You conquered the pressure and you did not fall, but you are a diamond.